In 2018 and 2023, the DOLE was conferred with the Gantimpala Bronze Award and the Gantimpala Silver Award by the Philippine Commission on Women. This award encapsulates the DOLE's primary objective of mainstreaming GAD across its many programs, covering employment facilitation, labor standards and regulations, and social protection, which will allow women increased access to employment, protection at place of work, and provide social protection programs in order to cope with risks and contingencies arising out of a crisis. The department has taken significant strides in policy development, program identification and rollout, supporting and advocating for the continued upliftment of the working lives of every Filipino women worker. This is a clear message of the important role that they play in the labor market and overall Philippine economic development. The Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028 is a plan for deep economic and social transformation to reinvigorate job creation and accelerate poverty reduction by steering the economy back on a high-growth path. This growth must be inclusive, building an environment that provides equal opportunities to all Filipinos and equipping them with skills to participate fully in an innovative and globally competitive economy. Using the PDP sub-theme of transformation or pagbabago, the DOLE GAD Agenda, as a companion to the DOLE Labor and Employment Plan 2023 to 2028, hopes to provide a gender lens in all DOLE policies, programs, and activities to guarantee the inclusivity of all actionable deliverables of the department, leading to an empowered labor force regardless of one's gender.
As early as 2022, the department has started the initial groundwork in developing the agenda. Capacity building and orientation exercises were initiated in order to understand the gender issues of stakeholders as well as to identify needed enabling laws to mainstream GAD into DOLE policies and programs. However, only under the current DOLE leadership did it create a renewed sense of purpose on the need to intensify and mainstream GAD in the department. As such, is anchored on the same belief that inclusivity is central in achieving full, decent, productive, and remunerative employment for all Filipino workers. From 2023 up to the present, the DOLE GAD Focal Point System has undertaken and carried out the instructions of the DOLE GAD Executive Committee to initiate activities to develop a DOLE GAD agenda for 2024 to 2028 that is aligned with the principles, strategies, outcomes, and targets of the Labor and Employment Plan 2023 to 2028. The DOLE GAD Agenda is a two-part series. The first part involves the department and stakeholders working together with the intention of incorporating GAD into the Labor and Employment Plan. The second part is an organizational analysis that evaluates the department's gender responsiveness and awareness. The end goal is to have a DOLE GAD agenda that is both outward and inward-looking. This will ensure that the department's actions will not reinforce existing gender inequalities but will mainstream gender-inclusive considerations in its policies, programs, projects, and activities. As a working and living document, the agenda will allow the department to have a firm understanding of what needs to be done and identify the indicators in order to measure if the same has been accomplished. It aims to provide guidance in the implementation of policies, programs, activities, and initiatives that will ensure that GAD is mainstreamed along the outcomes and strategies spelled out in the Labor and Employment Plan 2023 to 2028 and the organizational analysis conducted by the DOLE GFPS.
The GAD Agenda has incorporated into its framework the 3 Labor and Employment Plan priority pillars and identified gender issues to be addressed. An additional priority pillar was added into the agenda to improve the organizational capacities of the department as a government institution that champions gender and development. All DOLE offices, including its regional counterparts and attached agencies, have respectively integrated annual targets and budgets from 2024 to 2028 to identify priority areas and gender issues. Regular monitoring and evaluation activities shall be made by the DOLE GFPS to track the progress of this agenda and adjust the same when deemed needed or as requested by our stakeholders.
Recently, the Philippines has ratified ILO Convention number 190 or the Violence and Harassment Convention of 2019, the ILO C-190, and its accompanying recommendation number 206 are the first international instruments to recognize the rights of all workers, whether in the formal or informal settings, regardless of classification and irrespective of employment status, to a world of work free from violence and harassment.
For 2024, the DOLE intends to undertake area-wide consultations and orientations with the stakeholders identified by the convention. These consultations will help the department identify areas for action and improve the country's readiness in developing and enforcing enabling laws that will enact the principles of ILO C-190. Emerging gender issues and priorities will be incorporated in the DOLE GAD Agenda. Rest assured that the DOLE family will continue to work on mainstreaming gender and development, placing high priority on policies, programs, and projects that are deemed gender responsive. A commitment towards a bagong Pilipinas for every well-deserving Filipino worker to enjoy a matatag, maginhawa, at panatag na buhay!